So I wanted to talk about Kevin Stefanski a little bit because this is a man who has come under fire a lot, and it hasn't been by us, but just Browns fans in general. And I saw a video, no names, please. I saw a video on Twitter making the case for why Kevin Stefanski should no longer be the Browns head coach. I want to follow that up with why you should not fire Kevin Stefanski. One, I'm just going to start off with a basic statistic. Kevin Stefanski is the only Browns head coach in their tenure to have a 500 winning percentage or higher against the AFC North since the team came back to Cleveland in 1999. So I want to put that into perspective. I want you guys to put that in perspective a little bit. We've never been able to beat division opponents. Truly, never been able to beat division opponents. We finally have a coach that seems to have figured out the division, at least somewhat. Yeah, we're third. Things are looking up for us in the division. First, before I go further, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Having a coach that finally is winning games in the division.
Oh, dude, it's fun because you can go into any divisional game. Like we were going to that second Bengals game, saying Stefanski owns them. Like this is this is going to be an easy dub. Obviously, it wasn't, but for the most part, Stefanski does own Zach Taylor's Bengals.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
also
fun.
because your division is you play them twice a year, so you need to have somebody who at least has the ability to compete with those teams. If you don't have a coach that can compete with those teams, that's 6 games where you can easily just get completely far behind. And everyone knows that if you're not winning your division, those 3 spots for the wild card are, those are hell to get into. You need to basically be perfect the rest of the season. But if you're good in your division, if you can be 500 or better in your division, you have a way higher chance of winning your division, or at least being competitive enough that midway through the season, there's a good chance that you can actually either win the division or be high enough in that you can at least secure a wild card spot. So you need to win your division games. So having a coach that has had a lot of success is critical.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Another statistic here as we're moving on. Kevin Stefanski, his record as Browns head coach is 25-22. That's with 1 playoff win. Other Browns head coaches since the franchise came back in 1999 are 101, 234, and 1. Yes, I just said that. Absolutely just horrific stat right there.
Yeah.
The Browns have only had 8 seasons in their entire franchise history where a wide receiver's had 1,000 yards in a season. Good chance Amari Cooper does that this year. And Donovan Peoples-Jones could do that this year as well.
Lord.
You know why? Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
Another thing about Kevin Stefanski. When you have starting quarterback, your now franchise quarterback, saying the following on Kevin Stefanski. If he messed up on a situation, he lets us know, hey, that's my fault. And that's what you got to do as a coach and as a leader. Just take the blame for every situation. Even if the blame is not on you, he does that all the time.
Who said that?
Deshaun Watson said that.
Oh, wow, I didn't hear that.
So for those of you guys that wish Kevin Stefanski would go out there and say, oh, yep, Donovan Peoples-Jones, he sucked today. Cade York, dude, we need a new kicker. You just heard from the franchise quarterback that they like the way Kevin Stefanski leads this team. Because I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson speaks for the players.
Listen, okay, here's another thing. Like, yeah, it works. It can work. Yeah, you're right about Deshaun. He does. He is going to be that vocal leader. They already said he is a vocal leader. But the thing is, like, that, like, tough, everyone think of these defensive-minded first head coaches, these tough, guys, like, that bring that fire to your team, like Campbell and Sirianni and stuff like that. Like, it's good when it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That kind of stuff is awesome when it works. Look at Greg Williams. Like, we had nothing to lose. So when it was working, let's ride with Greg Williams, dude. Like, but when it's not working, it's bad. It's very bad. So a lot of these pro players don't really want to be coached like that. It's not college football anymore. It's not high school football anymore. They're adult men too. So
absolutely.
So a coach like Kevin Stefanski, who can get you to buy into a system. I truly believe that obviously that offensive side is bought into that system. The defensive side is just not seeing eye to eye with their coordinator. That's why I believe like switch that defensive coordinator first. And it's not like those guys on the defense don't want to play for Kevin Stefanski. It's just they don't believe in their unit, their group. You know, it's a whole different ball game when you're down there, man. Like the offense practices with the offense majority of the time, the defense practices with the defense. Like you get with your clicks and stuff, but you can tell in the locker room, the team as a whole was bought in together. Watson after that game going up and thanking the defense after the win and stuff like. So it'll change. I think if you get a coordinator that can make the team buy in all year round with Watson, you know, running Stefanski's offense, it's going to be a way different story next season.
I agree. Just some final quotes here. I want people to understand something. However you feel about Deshaun Watson personally, that's how you feel, and no one's here to tell you how to feel either way. But the Browns would not have a caliber quarterback of Deshaun Watson's if it wasn't for Kevin Stefanski. Deshaun said today that he had the connection with Stefanski when they first met, made him excited to come to Cleveland and get to work with him. They have a very strong relationship. He said he loves Kevin's scheme because of all the opportunities that can be provided in the run game and the ability to spread the ball. So we can talk about all day that Watson came here for the money. That probably was part of it. But you can't tell me that Kevin Stefanski did not have a good part in Deshaun Watson deciding to play for the Cleveland Browns. So that's one thing I just had to say there. And the final statistic I want to leave you with on why you keep Kevin Stefanski as head coach. The Browns' run defense ranks 32nd in EPA/rush and 31 in yards before contact per rush. Even worse, however, no rush defense has allowed more EPA per rush since at least 2000. So, you know what? Maybe get Kevin Stefanski a defensive coordinator. The Browns are a playoff team.
You know, that's possible.
That's why Kevin Stefanski needs to stay as head coach. And very similar, not saying he's the same guy, not saying it's the same situation. Very similar to what Sean Payton went through with the Saints. It really is. So I just had to get that off my chest, guys, because I saw a rant the other day about it, and it really kind of just fired me up because Kevin Stefanski, these players are showing you, they easily could have quit in that Baltimore game. They could have gone into that game. It's snowing, it's cold, and just completely laid down. But they did whatever it took. Like Watson said, he'll throw it 30 times, he'll run it 30 times. Whatever he's got to do to win the football game. And you have a team that's bought into Kevin Stefanski. So anything else you guys want to add on Coach? Whew, man, I'm fired up right now.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I just don't see why. I understand that maybe people are frustrated that the season hasn't gone the way it had. That a lot of us were hoping that the offense has had some points look bad. The defense has looked bad all year. He's the head coach. He needs to take responsibility. But you can't get rid of him before we know whether or not he is the coach who can lead the franchise quarterback to being the franchise quarterback. I don't want to get rid of him just on a whim in a season where we knew it was going to, there was going to be some ups and downs. Obviously, there's been a lot more downs than ups at this point, but we don't want to get rid of him after one bad year when we could be looking at the next 5-10 years of stability at the head coaching position. I just don't want to even think about getting rid of him until we know for sure whether or not he is the guy to lead us forward.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at. And when you have your franchise quarterback, saying everything he said today about Kevin Stefanski, he's not going anywhere. I'm telling you right now, you can feel however you want about Kevin Stefanski, and the Browns could somehow lose these next 3 games. Stefanski's not going anywhere. We found that out today. We really did. Kevin Stefanski is not going anywhere. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's fine. But that's where things are with Coach Stefanski. So, like I've tweeted out, we ride with Kevin. We really do. I think he's the man to get the job done. Fans don't like how he's so even-keeled on the sideline. He doesn't show fire. I guarantee you he shows a lot of fire when the cameras aren't on him.
The only reason I truly believe that and kind of know for a fact is when we were at training camp, Tyler. Like, Dude, he was ripping in the practice squad tight ends, bro. I'm like, I looked at Ansley. I'm like, is that Stefanski yelling like that at those players? Like, come on, dude. You're telling me he's just like, even killed to the media, obviously, because like you said, he's a professional though at his job, and he's not going to go up there and like Hugh Jackson and throw people under the bus. Like you guys hated him too, Hugh Jackson. Do you want that again? Like,
no,
dude, just give it time. Like he hasn't even had his offense basically at all. Like he's had the best. Obviously, he's had that running game and stuff, but he's never had the ability to really. Like what did Watson say today too about the offense being so balanced? Like
that he mentioned that that pretty much we can beat you either number of ways. He said it doesn't matter if he throws the ball 30 times. He said because they got Nick Chubb. Like we got Nick, we can give him the ball.
Doesn't that make you happy too though? Like you have your franchise quarterback, not just like Baker Mayfield saying it or Jacoby saying it, like I want to throw the ball more. It's Sean Watson going up there as a guy who we know in 2020 threw the ball 45 times a game and was elite. Like he's going up there saying I don't have to. We're gonna whatever it takes to win. Like that right there shows that he came here and he's instantly bought into the culture as well. Like it's those little things that said at press conferences that just show these people, like these fans, that like they're bought into Stefanski. Like, yeah, it's an off year again, but there's other circumstances that play into that, and one of them needs to go this offseason.
Yep, absolutely. Two final things on Stefanski. Jacoby Brissett, before Watson came back, was the 8th ranked highest quarterback according to Pro Football Focus. You know why? Kevin Stefanski. Baker Mayfield in 2020 had his best year as an NFL quarterback, and you know why? Kevin Stefanski's offense. So just wanted to leave on that note. But guys,